And in the 1970s and 80s, what that meant at the time was that farmers were selling directly to households. In addition to the transaction, it was where the farmer reached out to the community and asked for money before the produce is even ready. So it was the launching of a relationship between the farm and their neighbor, or somebody pretty close by, within driving distance. And a CSA is where you sell these sort of shares or subscriptions to individuals, households, and in return, when the season starts, and it depends on the region and the weather, each week the individual comes to the farm and picks up a box or a bag or a selection of produce that the farmer has grown. CSA farms normally are located near a city, and you can hear in the background the trucks going by and bicycles and even boats behind me at the Mercer Court farm site location. So it's appropriate that we're here today. CSAs can occur all over the world. They have become extremely popular. There's over 15,000 CSA farms. The proximity of the farms to a city is really what makes them work. Both the individuals having access to a farm that they can really visit, and then the farmer loading all these boxes, these boxes of produce, and bringing them into the city, and then you establish a drop site. So the farmer comes to that site, and it's an opportunity for the individual to meet the farmer or some of the farm workers. So that's really important too. There's a connection, there's a communication pipeline established between the farmer and the consumer. The CSA started here at the University of Washington in 2014 with the first farm manager with 15 shares, and today we have over 140 individual shares sold. We advertise and market in the winter quarter, which is January, February, and people can pay electronically or in person. Our CSA begins in June. The longest session runs for 14, 16 weeks. And then we can add on to that with a fall CSA. We run 3 sessions right now, and that just means there's distinct beginning and ending periods. The system is that we have a crop plan, and we plan out all the crops. We also have to keep UW dining in the mix. We need to make sure we're supplying the university cafeterias and also food banks. What is affordable, easy to prepare, and culturally appropriate. What makes the CSA at the University of Washington a little different than a commercial farm is that our sites are primarily education. But at the same time, we're actually a working farm. So one of the challenges for running a CSA here is you want students to learn, and they make mistakes, and they learn. At the same time, you need the produce for the CSA. So there's a challenge in having a farm as an academic site because the farm relies on CSA sales. So there's a very real aspect that students learn when they come to the farm about the CSA. There's a model, working model that's going on in the farm. And the CSA is one aspect, piece of curriculum that students can engage in. When the classes come to the farm and they see the shareholders picking up their shares, they're learning about a CSA, which is the next generation, about what a local food system can look like.
Hi guys, I'm Sophia. I'm one of the student staff this year, and I'm also the CSA lead for this season. So our CSA shareholders are made up of community members, students, and then even past volunteers here at the farm. A week where a CSA is occurring on Monday, we're harvesting for most of the day, getting the food all ready. And then Tuesday, we wash it all up. And then Wednesday, we spend our time packing it. This season, we have 63 shareholders for our summer. We pack up all this food in Douglas. We pack all of the boxes exactly the same. We walk around these big, long tables. We get them all prepared.
It's about 7 to 12 items in a box, sometimes more. It's worth approximately $30, $35 retail value. The weights vary depending on time of year, anywhere from 5 pounds to actually 25 pounds.
One of my main responsibilities is communicating with these shareholders, letting them know what food they should expect to be arriving into their weekly box.
The consumer has an opportunity to ask questions. They have a lot of choice in which CSA farm that they decide to support versus the supermarket, where you don't really have choice in the diversity of produce. Supermarkets more and more are consolidated. You want predictability and uniformity and shippability and shelf life. And there's less and less diversity. That's not the case with the CSA. Generally, everything is picked very fresh. It's transported very short distances, just outside the city. So a lot of the CSA farms are small and tend to be on the urban fringe.
There's 2 locations that you can pick these up from. One is the UW Club, which is over on the main campus. And then the other one is right here at CUH. We stack them all up underneath this tool shed.
Really have seen with a crisis, the pandemic, that the CSA was really the one revenue stream that really was sustainable for us. It made for a very resilient food system because we were able to adapt and morph and, as they say, pivot to mostly CSA. When all the dining outlets, normally we sell to about 6 dining outlets, when they shut down, we were able to quickly mobilize and expand the CSA. And community members rallied and came up and stepped forward and looked as the UW Farm CSA as a secure pipeline of food. So because we're so close to households and so close to the customers, and it's not being trucked long distances, the supply chain is very short. We really saw that this is a dynamic relationship that we have with the community, proved as a very successful model. Outside even of being academic, it's proved to be a real source for food security for people. And it kept the farm going, the CSA revenue, so that we could also supply the UW Food Pantry.